My family faced bankruptcy, and I was forced into an arranged marriage. Just after being sent to the Giles household, I heard roaring from inside. What's the use of her being so beautiful? I just heard her asking if someone's parents were dead. With manners like that, I quietly pushed open the door, prepared to have the engagement called off. The next second, the young master flushed red, gasping in shock. Miss Jean is not only beautiful but also caring. I always knew my father had excellent taste. Your son will obey all arrangements. His father. What? Me. What? Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. The family was facing bankruptcy, and I was sent overnight to the Giles household. Before I could even step inside, I heard roaring voices from within. You old man are meddling too much. Don't you know marriage is free now? I'm only 23. I won't marry some strange woman older than me. Even if your son gets hit by a car and sent flying when he goes out, he would never agree to such an absurd demand. What did you say? That she's pretty. How can you be so shallow? What's the use of her being pretty? Is that her outside the door? When I passed by, I heard her asking someone if their parents were dead. With that kind of character, not even a dog would marry her. I froze in place. What he said seemed to be directed at me. As I got off the car, a street vendor's cart splashed mud all over me, and I was just about to speak up. But the vendor immediately accused me of being blind and not watching where I was going. Furious, I argued with him on the spot. And in the end, the vendor asked if my parents were dead to raise someone so ill-mannered. I just replied, "It's your parents who are dead." Harley just passed by behind me. Then his ears must be really deaf. He only heard me cursing but didn't hear others cursing at me. The argument inside the house grew louder and fiercer, with faint thuds of objects being thrown. I closed my eyes in despair. This marriage alliance is probably not going to happen. Rumors say Mr. Giles had a son late in life and dotes on Harley, his only heir, to the point of lawlessness. He usually walks around looking down his nose at everyone. Not to mention something as significant as a marriage alliance. No matter how much the old man likes me, his own son will always come first. I sighed. Forget it. For the sake of propriety, I should at least greet Mr. Giles. Since I'm already here, rather than another day, might as well get everything clear today. Leave the luggage outside the door. I hesitated for a moment before pushing it open. If you old bastard force me, I'll kill myself by crashing into the wall. Harley faced the wall, raised her head with an air of determination to end her own life. I cautiously reached out my hand. You don't have to kill yourself. We can just call off the engagement. If I really killed someone by accident, I'd have a life on my conscience. At this thought, my scalp tingled uncontrollably, and my body shuddered violently. Two pairs of eyes inside the room simultaneously fell upon me. Jean, why are you here so early? The Giles household. The old man looked bewildered, glancing at his hysterical son with unspoken words. Jean, you saw it too. This marriage alliance. Your father and I had agreed on it. But, ouch. Mr. Giles' words were cut short as Harley suddenly collapsed to the ground. Propped up on one elbow again, he banged his head against the wall, staring straight at me. Miss Jean, please don't laugh. When my headaches act up, I usually bang my head against the wall for relief. But there's nothing wrong with my health. If you don't believe me, we can go for a premarital checkup. His dad. What? Me. What? Probably the ultimate sense of relaxation at home. Harley showed not a trace of embarrassment, casually got up from the ground, and immediately put on a perfectly appropriate smile. Miss Jean, you came over so early in the morning. Did you sleep well? Would you like to take a nap at my place first? Me? I just heard Miss Jean showing concern for someone outside. Miss Jean is truly beautiful and kind. Don't you think so, Dad? His father. If I hadn't just heard what he said outside the door, I almost fell for his handsome appearance. I looked up at him. Truly a young master born with a silver spoon in his mouth. With a tall and burly frame, yet paired with puppy dog eyes, adding a touch of adorable clumsiness to his sharp and aloof demeanor. Harley met my gaze, his face instantly flushing red as he hastily averted his eyes. His words suddenly reminded me of what he said before entering, that I had poor manners. What if the current gentleman is merely Harley being polite as a person? If I break off the engagement with him, it's not like I don't have other options to remarry. But if he goes around gossiping in social circles about my poor character, that would truly ruin my reputation and cut off my escape routes. Thinking of the precarious state of the family business, I couldn't help but speak up, softly explaining, I didn't ask if someone's parents were dead. It was the vendor who cursed at me like that first. Harley was slightly taken aback, suddenly became anxious. I didn't say anything bad about you. Miss Jean, you misunderstood. He scratched his head and looked at Mr. Giles. His eyes lighting up, turned his head and shouted, Dad, why aren't you dead yet today? When are you handing over the family fortune to me? Then grinned at me and said, I know Miss Jean means caring about others. I often show this kind of concern for my dad at home too. A truly filial son. I curved my lips slightly, not daring to make a sound. The next second, Harley's face was met with a slap. Mr. Giles was furious. You bastard. Having been slighted by his own father, Harley felt his face burning with embarrassment. It was as if a slap had brought him back to his senses. And the way he looked at me suddenly became distant. Harley swallowed hard and raised his chin. I was just talking in my sleep. Not fully awake yet. Don't take it seriously. You're only moderately pretty. The next second, Harley got slapped again on the face. I'm not angry about that. You bastard. How did I end up with a bastard like you? Mr. Giles rolled his eyes in exasperation, and the scene descended into chaos. I spoke up timidly. Maybe we should just call off this engagement. This young master seems a bit off in the head. Just as expected, the dream-talking immortal opens his mouth. Fine. I'll reluctantly agree to marry you then. Harley only then instructed the driver to take me home. That very afternoon, he came knocking at my door laden with bags and packages. I'm reluctantly gracing your place with my presence. Hope you don't mind. Looking at the man before me, dressed in a black diamond-encrusted suit, meticulously styled like a peacock spreading its tail. Harley. And this is what he calls. Reluctantly. I was a bit stunned but had no choice but to play along. I don't mind. Wear whatever you like. Harley's smug grin froze on his face as he muttered something about having left an item in the car, telling me to go in first and wait for him. Wait for him to come back in. My younger sister suddenly burrowed into my arms, crying loudly that the dragon fruit outside had come to life. I looked up. Harley had somehow changed from that black diamond-studded suit into a rose-red diamond-studded one. It was so dazzling it hurt the eyes. Yet this person didn't seem to mind at all, tilting his head up smugly. That one is too formal. Let's reluctantly settle for this one. During the meal, my mother signaled with her eyes for me to serve Harley some food. Just put a shrimp in his bowl. The next moment, he stuffed the shrimp, shell and all, into his mouth, mumbling indistinctly, "Since it's my fiancé who gave it to me, I'll reluctantly eat it." He even chewed and swallowed the shrimp shells. Not long after, an elbow nudged his shoulder. Harley started acting shady-eyed again. "Could you serve me some more food? Somehow the dishes you pick taste better." "Don't understand, but do as told." I serve the food. He doesn't spit out the shells. I pour the water. He takes the bowl to drink. Just bear with it for a while. Bear with it a little longer. I'll reluctantly give it another try. After who knows how many glasses of water I poured for her, my younger sister, who had finally overcome her fear of dragon fruit, slowly inched closer to me, timidly extending her pinky finger. She pointed at what she believed to be the dragon fruit spirit, eyes widened round and clear, with an innocent expression. "Sister, is that a water buffalo?" The water buffalo himself paused while taking the bowl. I don't know if it's just my imagination. Harley sounded a bit choked up. I'm going to the restroom. In no time, the little sister, who had run off to play, quietly tiptoed back and pointed toward the bathroom. Big sis. It sounds like a water buffalo is crying in there. Moo moo. Harley, this arranged marriage partner. Seems like I had a high fever as a child that affected my brain. Every move is unpredictable. I reluctantly endured it all afternoon. Finally got him out the door. Just as he reached the doorway, Harley suddenly turned back as if remembering something. Miss Jean, I forgot to introduce myself to you. Does he even need an introduction? The Giles family is indeed an aristocratic lineage. Couldn't help but laugh out loud, while Harley inexplicably looked somewhat nervous. Oh, now I remember. Before entering his house this morning, he seemed to mention that he wouldn't marry a woman older than him. Didn't expect him to explain it so tactfully. My face suddenly felt warm, and my heart inexplicably skipped a beat. But it seems fate didn't give him a chance to explain. Perhaps it was because his vow was too sincere when he refused to marry me. On the wedding day, Harley was reluctantly on his way to pick me up. He really got hit by a car and sent flying. The wedding car instantly turned into an ambulance, whisking away to the hospital with sirens blaring. Good news. He didn't die in the crash. Bad news. Seems like he hit his head. Aside from some minor fractures, the doctor said the more serious issue is a blood clot in his brain, which might cause temporary memory loss. The heart that had just settled instantly tightened again, fingers unconsciously clutching the soiled hem of the skirt. The marriage alliance had just been publicly announced. What if this young master suddenly woke up and pulled another about-face? Wouldn't that make me lose all dignity? At least when the engagement was first broken off, there was still room to retreat. But now that things have reached this point, if the marriage were to be called off, would there truly be any other options left? I've been a coward since childhood. My parents are cowards too. Compared to being cowardly, the family going bankrupt and becoming penniless is even more terrifying. Proposing a marriage alliance with the Giles family took every last ounce of courage from all 4 members of our household. I attended a dinner party before and met Mr. Giles a few times. He thought I, as a junior, was pleasing to the eye, which is why he agreed to this marriage arrangement. But what about Harley? The outside world says he's a spoiled rich kid, acting on whims, always fooling around without any seriousness. I recalled the last time I went to his house, when he lay on the floor banging his head against the wall to threaten his father. He really was quite shameless. Lost in thought, I didn't notice the Harley on the bed suddenly flutter his eyelashes. The crowd behind quickly gathered around. Harley slowly opened his eyes, scanning the surroundings with his gaze. My heart instantly leaped into my throat. Getting into a car crash on such a big day. Who knows if it's bad luck or... A sharp voice suddenly rang out from the crowd. I followed the sound and saw that it was Giles' family guest over there, who looked somewhat familiar. After some thought, it seemed my parents had mentioned that their family had always been on good terms with the Giles family. Although secretly, I felt that Harley's unpredictable temperament made him less than the ideal choice for a son-in-law. But among wealthy families, interests take precedence. Look down on Harley, yet covet the Giles family's status and position. Thought it was only a matter of time before climbing up to the prestigious Giles family. Never expected someone like me to appear. Encountered Harley losing his memory, and it just happened to be at my wedding with him. Naturally wanting to compete again. Which family can't the Giles family form a marriage alliance with? The Florence family is almost bankrupt. Don't you have any sense sending your daughter for a marriage alliance now? Think about it yourself. Getting into a car accident on the way to pick up the bride. Don't you think this is hinting at something? Harley, I've watched you grow up. Would I deliberately lie to you? Hearing this, Harley furrowed his brows, as if pondering something. I felt somewhat wronged and wanted to speak up in defense. It was clearly his own poisonous oath that came true. So why blame me for it? Wait a minute. A thud sounded by the bedside. I looked up. Harley looked at me with a face full of shock. his outstretched finger trembling slightly. You mean, the person I'm marrying today is her? The next second, he abruptly sat up. His eyes flashed with 3 parts shock and 4 parts ecstasy. Then, he threw his head back and laughed wildly. Thank goodness it didn't kill me. She's actually my wife. Even after shouting, he still couldn't believe it. He grabbed my hand and pressed it against his face. Tilting his head up, he said, "Slap me. Let's see if you're my real wife or not." I gave him a light tap on the face. Harley's eyes instantly glazed over. As expected of my wife. Even your palms smell sweet. Quickly withdrew the hand. This look of his seems like he'd actually lick my hand. Spent 2 months recuperating in the hospital. After Harley was brought home, with questions weighing on my mind, I couldn't help but steal a glance at him. The moment I looked up, I was met with that infatuated face. He started grinning foolishly the instant our eyes met. No idea what he's laughing about. My face is burning with embarrassment. Back at the hospital, the moment they confirmed I was his wife, he immediately turned and blasted that troublesome guest. His indiscriminate verbal attack left the room completely silent. Not another word of nonsense was heard. Just overheard someone muttering as they left, saying I only have a pretty face. Harley must have been cursed by me. Agreed to the arranged marriage without hesitation. Even after losing his memory, he fiercely protected his wife. Forgot even his own father. Yet remembered only me. Do you really like me that much? Before I could think deeply about it, my sleeve was gently tugged. Harley grinned. Wife. Fearing that his head, which hadn't fully recovered, might be hurting. I grew a bit nervous. What's wrong? Does your head hurt again? Harley shook his head. I want to take a bath. I feel stinky. Glancing at his fractured arm, I was about to call the butler to help him. The next second, the hand on my sleeve tightened slightly, gripping my wrist. His eyes brimmed with longing. I want my wife to help me wash. Just about to refuse, then saw the scar on his brow that hadn't fully healed yet. Besides, Harley and I are legally married. Helping my injured husband take a bath doesn't seem like a big deal. Heart softened. Not soft at all. Stepping out of the bathroom, my face was even redder than his after his shower. My hands were unusually hot too, and that big dummy was still happily chasing after her, asking, "Honey, don't I look awesome?" When I was bored in the hospital, I read lots of articles that all said you should boldly show off to the person you like. Your husband's no coward. Boldly displayed. Indeed, it was shown thoroughly. First, stripped the clothes completely bare, seeing that I wouldn't open my eyes. Then reached out to pry my eyelids apart. He grabbed my other hand and guided it to touch his handsome face. Haven't trained for 2 months in the hospital. They've all gotten smaller. Beneath my palm was his wildly beating heart. And extremely well-defined abs. Though his words complained about being small, his tone was full of pride as he eagerly struck poses. Further down, the smooth lines of well-defined abs, until reaching the waist, suddenly pressed against by something, originally displayed with confidence. Harley suddenly hunched over, the tips of their ears turning pink. Couldn't control it. Far from keeping it under control, it was like speeding down the highway. The entire bath was spent with eyes strictly averted, and by the time I finished scrubbing him, my hands were sore. Darling, you still haven't answered me. Was I amazing or what? Harley showed every sign of not letting up until she got a satisfactory answer. A large face buried itself directly against my chest. My face burned with heat. To be honest, I was satisfied. Previously, due to my unsociable and timid nature, I would avoid social events like business banquets and evening parties whenever possible. When I absolutely had to attend, I'd follow behind my dad, force a few smiles, then sneak outside to eat little cakes. I've seen Harley in the back garden of one such business banquet. I sneakily ate a small cake as usual. A group of figures approached from not far away. Someone beside me, also sneaking a small cake. nudged my elbow familiarly and gestured toward the group with their chin. Isn't the one in the middle the only heir of the Giles family? The one the old man dotes on so much? Today. He's dressed up quite impressively. I looked up. The one in the middle of the group. He was absolutely dazzling. Not just his face, but even more dazzling was his diamond-encrusted suit. Selling two of them would definitely fetch a good sum. Dazzled. I took a couple more glances without realizing what the person next to me meant by saying, Harley was dressed to the nines today. Until next time, I saw what he was wearing. A suit. Not just that. There's also the Monkey King set. The Tom and Jerry set. The Emperor set. There was also a gray and hideously ugly suit, whose name I couldn't even recall. It made his crotch bulge conspicuously. Harley aside from questionable taste. His figure was undeniably impressive. After that, I never saw him again. And I didn't want to go out either. Until the marriage alliance. She actually became his wife. Harley, although she doesn't seem very bright in other aspects, I'm truly satisfied. Especially. Instinctively glanced downward. The gaze was Harley quickly caught. The next moment, that familiar scorching sensation pressed against me again. My heartbeat suddenly became rapid. I didn't refuse. I have to say, as expected of the man I've had my eye on. Absolutely brilliant. So brilliant that I couldn't help but bring up what he said before. Listen to me. You only married me out of reluctance. I abruptly lifted his head. Harley, his lips still glistening with moisture, looking at me in utter confusion. This was already the 6th time tonight. If we keep going at this rate, dawn will break. We're in a marriage of convenience. You've always said you only married me out of reluctant obligation. I shakily held his hand as he reached for the 7th one, my waist aching a bit. Reluctantly. You know. What are you mumbling about? I'll kiss, kiss, kiss. Where did you hide the last one? Harley pinned my hand with a backhand, pushing it directly above my head. A scorching kiss descended, shattering the words I had left unspoken. I've always wanted to understand why he likes me so much. It feels like it's not just because of my face, but every time I ask. Harley turned to look at me seriously, but as he kept staring, those puppy eyes became dazed again. Want a kiss? One kiss led to another, and things quickly got out of control. We've only been married for 2 months. Kitchen, sofa, floor-to-ceiling window, bedroom. We've done it everywhere. Usually, he's either facing me while nibbling on me or holding me from behind while nibbling. Familiarity breeds affection, and there's some truth to that. Harley may always seem a bit scatterbrained, but when it comes to service spirit, there's really nothing to complain about. All sorts of role-playing, meticulous observation of my expressions to make better adjustments. The outcome of exceptional technology is, I too have become shameless. Until one night, Harley, who was diligently working on me, suddenly froze. His gaze suddenly cleared, looking at my completely naked body, then at his own, covering his head. He shouted, "Did you get me? I'm not a virgin anymore. Then does that mean you won't love me anymore?" I was stunned. What kind of act is he putting on now? The old-fashioned husband routine. Then what role am I playing? The wife who was first loved and then abandoned. We weren't even role-playing today. Before I could say anything, the Harley on me leaped off the bed in one big stride, muttering, "It's over. It's over." Grabbing the phone nearby, I rushed out. Until the next day, at the dining table, I reluctantly began to deal with Harley again. I instantly realized that his memory had returned. My heart tightened. Then I remembered that he had liked me both before and after losing his memory. I breathed a sigh of relief. I naturally picked up some food and put it in his bowl. Harley has returned to his old ways. Eating shrimp without peeling the shells. Drinking water straight from a bowl. He still likes to secretly fiddle with his phone. Messaging who knows whom. None of that matters. The most terrifying part. He's lost his appetite for desire. This is unacceptable. Before, he was seducing and serving me day and night. And now he just decides not to come without a word. So frustrating. I gave his waist a hard pinch. The man pretending to sleep beside me opened his arms and pulled me into his embrace. I suppose I could reluctantly let you hug me. Already being hugged. Me, seeing my silence. He pouted and moved closer to my face. I could also reluctantly give you a kiss. Already being kissed. Me, I've already taken off my clothes. Who's interested in this bland nonsense with you? My eyelids twitched heavily. Clenched my fists. Silently counting down 3, 2, 1. Backing. Spanning. Got stuck. Unbelievably looking down. It's all swollen like this. What on earth is he forcing himself to do? I couldn't take it anymore. Did you have a high fever when you were a kid? His face flushed from being sat on. Harley stiffened. How did you know? Then suddenly grinned. I survived a fever of 42 degrees. Pretty badass. Ha. No. You really had a fever. No wonder you have such a good figure paired with a dog's brain. Just as I was about to force myself on you once. Harley, the phone by the pillow suddenly vibrated. The next second, I was thrown off. Me. What? Harley has been acting a bit sneaky lately. I've been observing for a while and confirmed the culprit is the contacts in his phone. One night when I got up, I heard him secretly making a phone call on the balcony. Calling the other person. Strategist. We're already married. Everything that needed to be done has been done. What else does he need a strategist for? I tiptoed and quietly moved closer to the balcony. Then heard Harley speak with resounding force. A man who doesn't cherish himself is like a rotten cabbage. A woman loses her passion once she gets a man. Harley suddenly choked up. Whispering softly, what if I've already been gotten? Can that thing be cut off and regrown? No idea what was said on the other end. But he started reciting to himself again. He blabbered on for a long while. On the other end of the phone, a satisfied voice said, "You recited it well. Keep up the good work." Harley looked resolute. I will heed the strategist's teachings. But wait, isn't he my husband? Who does he love himself for? Pondering back and forth. His heart is full of doubts. Put some sleeping pills in Harley's water. He slept peacefully. I touched his phone. After unlocking it with my fingerprint, I opened my phone. Spotted the strategist he mentioned at first glance. Harley. Damn. How did I end up deleting you? Strategist. You acted like a dog for your wife when you lost your memory. Harley. Being a dog wasn't so bad. Actually. She smelled amazing everywhere. And when she scratched my chin with her fragrant hands, it felt heavenly. Strategist. The fate of a simp is to be abandoned. Don't you understand with a living example like me right in front of you? Harley. Then what should I do? Strategist. Do as I said before. Don't be overly affectionate with your wife. Harley. Today, I tried hard to keep my distance from my wife and wasn't tempted. Strategist. Well done. Thumbs up. Harley. Couldn't hold back today. Stole one of my wife's lace nightgowns to take care of things. Strategist. Didn't get caught. Did you? Harley. No. I'm very meticulous in my work. Harley. Strategist. How much longer must I endure? My wife smells so good. I just want to kneel down and bark like a dog. Strategist. Has she ever said she loves you? Called you cute? Initiated a kiss? Harley. No. Strategist. Then keep enduring. What's our motto? Harley. Being a simp only leads to being dumped. We little men must never become playthings for powerful women. No wonder I've been missing some clothes lately. Turns out they were all Harley's manual transmission solutions. He can do it manually. I'm just holding it in. Thinking of Harley, such a useful tool, being fooled like a dog by his advisor. A surge of nameless anger rose in his chest. After calming my emotions, I sent a message to this person called Strategist. I really want to see what kind of heartbreak this strategist has suffered from women to say such things. What? Your ex-girlfriend asked you to deliver condoms while she was with her current boyfriend. And not just once. My jaw dropped to the floor as I exclaimed in shock. The man across from him darkened his expression, whispering with restraint, "Keep your voice down. Is this something to be proud of? Why shouldn't it be? Giving it away would be shameful. But not giving it. What's there to be ashamed of? Wait a minute. Did you send it?" I whispered. The man fell silent. So did I. Originally, I wanted to see who would come to sabotage my relationship with Harley. Got caught up in some inexplicable drama. The corners of my mouth almost curled up. But then I remembered this was Harley's childhood friend. So I quickly pressed my lips together. She stopped cherishing me after she got me. Before she had me, she'd call me baby and hubby every day. She said she wanted to put a dog collar on me, and I wore it. She said she wanted me to call her mommy. So I did. She said she wanted lots and lots of money. So I gave her all my bank cards. Why did she break up with me? The man's eyes turned red as he accused her word by word. I couldn't bear it. Is there a possibility that she's just been playing with you like a dog all along? Shut up. It's my choice to be a dog. It has nothing to do with her. Harley is my best brother. I've been hurt before. I can't let him get hurt too. Wow. So chivalrous. Why doesn't she love me? Moo 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 moo. He covered his head and cried bitterly. As expected of Harley. A true bro. Crying like two water buffaloes. I watched his left and right brains wrestle with each other as he tried to console himself. Could it possibly be that you're impotent? The cow seemed to be crying even louder. My damn mouth. Watching the man cry more and more intensely, I instantly felt like sitting on pins and needles. Fortunately, the restaurant's time announcement interrupted the man's crying. He wiped his tears and stood up on his own. It's getting late. I need to go deliver the set. I can't let her get hurt. Returned home with indescribable feelings. Harley has no idea what madness is going on either. He pulled out that dragon fruit print outfit with rhinestones again, paired with green socks and a pair of shiny Chelsea boots. It was literally an eyesore of an outfit. He kept pouring something from a small bottle into his mouth. No idea what it was. I asked, puzzled, "What are you eating?" Harley kept chewing. His tone muffled. "Pesticide. The kind that kills you if you eat it." Me? What's he so inexplicably angry about? What the hell did you eat? Harley continued chewing. "Aphrodisiac. The kind that makes you GG instantly." I walked up and tried to pry his mouth open, but it wouldn't budge. Looking down at the small bottle in his hand. "Vitamin C. What's wrong with you?" I could clearly sense something was off with his mood. So I sat down beside him. Harley turned her head away. Her voice tinged with a sob. "I knew it. You women never cherish what you've got once you have it." My buddy was absolutely right. Only when I lost my memory did a wicked woman like you take advantage of me. I almost burst out laughing. My gaze fell on the phone left on the coffee table. Its screen still lit. A photo of me handing a tissue to his brother was blatantly displayed on the screen. Harley turned his head, pouting as he accused. "It hasn't been long and you're already looking for a new man. Am I not handsome enough? Rich enough? Or are my abs not good enough to touch? I don't care. Anyway, I'm not a virgin anymore. You have to take responsibility." What kind of nonsense is this? A lump formed in my throat, leaving me speechless for a long while. Harley suddenly lowered his voice, speaking uncertainly. "Can we not get divorced? I'll be the main wife and he can be the concubine." I glanced at the photo, then gave him a look full of unspoken words. "Can't you tell this is your brother?" Harley turned his head abruptly, tiny pearls of tears hanging at the corners of his eyes. "I was only looking at you and didn't notice what this guy looked like. You've taken a liking to my brother. Don't even mention my brother. Even if my dad came, he'd have to take the back seat." Trying to communicate with someone whose brain was fried by a high fever in childhood is truly an all-around obstacle. The anger that had just flared up in my heart instantly died down the moment I saw his foolish expression. Harley has always been a bit slow. It's not like this is the first time we've known this. Everyone says he's just a spoiled rich kid. A playboy ruined by his father's indulgence. But in my eyes, he's kind, adorable, and genuinely sincere. Most importantly, there's still plenty of money, all for me to spend. The energy is still strong. Using it feels amazing. I cupped his face, trying hard to ignore Harley's ridiculous dragon fruit battlesuit, looking utterly serious. Only love you. Then I recalled what his equally harebrained brother and strategist had said. Did she say she loves you? Did she say you're cute? Did she take the initiative to kiss you? I continued. You're also very cute. Harley's eyes instantly lit up, his expectant gaze fixed on my lips. I gently leaned in and gave him a kiss, as if sealing some sacred pact. The next second, the enchanting atmosphere was instantly shattered, because Harley suddenly knelt down. While kneeling, he pulled out a dog leash from under the table, exclaiming, "Great! I can finally be my wife's dog." Thankfully, no one else was home. Otherwise, I'd have to explain that I really haven't studied witchcraft. Harley buried his head in my palm, his face full of infatuation. Beneath the V-neck of the suit, the faint outline of his chest muscles traced a beautiful curve. My throat felt a bit dry. Taking the rope from his hand with the flow, I gently led him towards the bedroom, coaxing in a warm voice, "Then let me see how a good dog serves his master." On the table, Harley's phone vibrated a few times. "Bro, my ex asked me to bring her a condom. She's totally fishing. She wants to use it with me. She does cherish me. She was just sulking because my moves were too old-fashioned. She loves me to death. Delete the manual I sent you. I'll send you the new wife worship scripture to memorize by heart. Wife is the sky. Wife is the earth. Wife holds up my world. Never scold the wife. Never talk back to the wife. Without wife's love, life is a failure." She kissed me, her lips so sweet, her hands so fragrant. I couldn't help but bark like a puppy. Being a woman's dog is truly the most wonderful thing in this world. Harley extra story. The old man said he would arrange a marriage alliance for me, with the daughter of the Florence family. Obedient and well-behaved. A stunning beauty. My heart instantly burned with rage. I don't care which family, or even if she's a stunning beauty that puts flowers to shame. I absolutely won't marry a woman I don't love. Besides, I already have someone I like. I just don't know her name yet. A petite figure in a white dress popped into my mind. She always liked to sneak into the back garden to eat little cakes. Her favorite was the blueberry flavor. Every time she saw me, her eyes seemed to be glued to me. Cut. Handsome, and I know it. My childhood buddy nudged my shoulder and said, "This suit I'm wearing looks sharp. Could he borrow it for a couple days?" Damn right it's sharp. This is top-tier luxury haute couture. Others might not even get the chance to buy it if they wanted to. I nodded. Wait a minute. Is it the suit on me that's handsome? Or is it me? Is she looking at me? Or at my suit? I fell into deep thought. The next business banquet, I changed into an Iron Man outfit. The girl is still staring at me. Change into the Tom and Jerry outfit again. She's still staring at me. Change into the Monkey King outfit again. She kept staring. Confirmed. She likes staring at me, not the clothes. A faint joy unconsciously welled up in her heart. Just as I was preparing to approach her and speak to her next time, my father locked me in the house. He invited many exorcists and feng shui masters. They either performed wild dances in front of me or sprinkled strange water on me. Finally, all my colorful clothes were thrown into the brazier and burned to ashes. Later, when I finally regained the privilege to attend banquets, I never saw that girl again. My heart felt hollow. I didn't understand what it was. When I was a child, I had a high fever that affected my brain. So I'm not very sharp. So I went to ask my childhood friend who grew up with me. After thinking for a long time, he told me this is called liking. Liking. Is that it? But I didn't even know her name. Seeing the old man seriously pushing for the marriage alliance, I was furious. I plopped down, hugged my head, and prepared to slam it against the wall. Hey! You don't have to kill yourself. We can just call off the engagement. The argument with the old man reached a boiling point when the door was pushed open. That familiar petite figure appeared before me once again. She blinked her big, round eyes, seemingly a bit nervous, standing by the door and incessantly picking at her palms. So, my arranged marriage partner is her. What did she just say? Don't crash yourself to death. You are going to marry me, right? Hee hee. Not dying anymore. Here I come. Wifey. Thanks to my dad for that slap. Almost got so mesmerized by my future wife that I lost my bearings. My childhood friend and strategist once said, when it comes to the girl you like, be serious and steady. My reckless behavior might scare her away. Strong women despise simps. Maintain your distance. Don't become a woman's plaything. Otherwise, you'll be discarded by women. Because my buddy got dumped only after simping to the point of sacrificing his own body. He said that before a woman formally commits, virginity status is really important. I snapped back to reality, looking at his wife in front of him. What are you mumbling about? Don't understand. Just want to kiss. Not married. Can't kiss. The term, wife, lingered on my tongue before being swallowed back. Once again, I silently recited the virginity manual my advisor had sent me in my heart. Be reserved. Maintain a sense of distance. I lifted my head, pretending to be nonchalant. Then I suppose I'll reluctantly agree to marry you. Florence Wren shyly lowered her head. On the importance of linguistic charm. Full marks. Full marks. It's too hard to force oneself. Clearly, I just want to wear nice clothes to show my wife. Eat the food she feeds me. And drink the water she pours for me. Just thinking about my good buddy being abandoned. Having to stay home every day hugging a Waha bottle in a drunken stupor. I shuddered again. No. At least as a loader. I can sleep holding my wife. Going door to door as a loader. Wore the most expensive black suit with crushed diamonds. Pretending to be aloof. Reluctantly came to your place. Just threw on whatever. Hope you don't mind. My wife said I could wear whatever I wanted. Which means, she's not satisfied with what I'm wearing. Luckily, I had a spare suit in the trunk. Then her sister called me a pitaya. Since they were her family, I held back my temper. Later, she called me a water buffalo, and I ran to the bathroom and burst into tears with a moo. Water buffaloes are so ugly. My wife would definitely not like buffaloes. I had planned to show off my handsome clothes to my wife at home after marriage. But the deadly vow I made to avoid marrying her came true. I really got hit by a car and sent flying. Not dead. But it's pretty much the same as being dead. I actually lost my memory. Forgot everyone. Only remember my wife. I couldn't help but lick her when I saw her. Every part of her body was licked by me. To my surprise, even my wife's feet smelled sweet. I even pretended to be weak on purpose to get her to bathe me. All just to make my wife fall for my charm. Collapsed. Did everything. The day my memory returned, I was working hard on my wife. The sky fell. Why am I being so proactive? I've forgotten everything the strategist said. I even deleted the strategist from my memory. The moment she got me was the countdown to losing me. During the day, I went to my buddy's place and drank Waha while crying together. At night, I came home and held my wife to sleep. But my heart was full of torment. Until someone sent me a photo. It was a photo of my wife with another man. At a restaurant. This time, the sky has truly fallen. At that moment, I even thought about when we'd be dragged to get the divorce certificate. Since childhood, I've never been in a relationship. Nor have I ever spoken to a girl. The moment I speak, they ask if I had a high fever as a child that affected my brain. Indeed, I did. 42 degrees Celsius couldn't even kill me. I lift my head with immense pride. They just rolled their eyes at me and ignored me even more. It seems I'm always a bit clueless when it comes to romance. I don't understand. I just know I can't help but get close to my wife. My only good friend with any dating experience became my love coach. He told me not to lower my stance too much. The most important thing is to protect my little Harley. Once this thing is obtained, it will be discarded. I lowered my head and retorted, "You're full of crap. It's obviously huge." A slap to the mouth. My wife won't let me swear. "You're full of sweet-smelling crap. It's big, Harley." The strategist said none of that matters. What's important is protecting the final line of defense. Now it's all right. The bottom line is gone. It seems my wife is about to be gone too. I started crying like a cow. Before my wife gets home, I quietly wipe away my tears and change into what I think is my coolest outfit, secretly trying to hold on, hoping my wife will understand. My wife loves me the most. She only likes me. Being my wife's dog is the happiest thing in the world. After an intense and exhausting effort, my wife threw the set of clothes I was wearing into the trash, saying they were so ugly it made her wilt. The next second, she fished them out of the trash and asked me how much the clothes cost. I can't remember. Was it 7 digits or 8 digits? I paid with the old man's card. Can't recall. The wife silently hung that dragon fruit battlesuit in the wardrobe, bowing reverently 3 times. "Just tell me not to wear it again in the future." Before even stepping inside, I heard roaring voices coming from within. I nodded in agreement. My wife was absolutely right. Late at night, when love runs deep, my wife pinched my ear, saying this fool of mine is the most adorable. Hiss. My wife is the real fool. Once you say that, I'll have to fight through the night. She won't be getting any sleep tonight.